Hey lovelies, welcome back to part 2 of this reading, which is you can forgive, but no need to forget. We don't need to forget, just forgive, that's enough. We finish up on the gratitude card here, right? I just want to add to that at the moment you may be feeling really grateful because you're feeling like you're seen by your people that have shown up in your life at this time. And, what's also really nice is to mirror and reflect that back and let them know that you also see them. Okay, so you're both witnessing each other at this time. It could be you and a group of people that are suddenly showing up in this new version of you. So how lovely. Okay, so EQ is next, emotional intelligence. So this is around where, I'm going to explain two things here. So it's great to have IQ, like if you're book smart or, you're really academically smart, okay? And that used to be seen as such an important thing in the workplace, or if you were really skyrocketing in your career, like it was just such a big thing once upon a time to be recognized as being really smart and business astute and, all those other corporate buzzwords. Okay, now they are recognizing that it's also just as important, if not more important, to have really high EQ. Okay, so EQ and IQ, it's very rare that you would find someone that has a good balance of both. Usually it's one or the other, but there are those rare people that are super smart and really high in their IQ, but also have really grasped EQ really well. Now, IQ is something that can be taught because our book smart, they're academics. EQ is something that you sort of learn through life experiences or modeling other people's behavior or sort of taking on other people's great behavior and how they lead or demonstrate or role model, and then sort of learning from the responses that that person has sort of portrayed and given, and then taking that on as your own and therefore making it a part of who you are. So quite different IQ and EQ. So this is around emotional intelligence. So what this says is that you have the great awareness, and we talked about that heightened awareness before, to have that self-insight. You're so self-aware in terms of being able to read the room really clearly. Like when you walk into a room, you've just got a good read on the room. What else is there to think about with this? It's also the home for really compassionate communication and conversation. Okay, it's like you see that there's two sides to the story. Part of that is being a great listener. And to be a great listener, you need to be sitting there and be very present in the moment so that you can be part of that two-way conversation. So this here is a really lovely card to show up for where you are at in your life. And it doesn't surprise me that you do have high EQ because of all the things that have happened to you, perhaps through your childhood and then coming into your adult years. You've learned how to do this really well because that's actually what's carried you through to get you where you are now, right? The next one is deserving. Okay, so this is around I previously, in the previous iterations, I had called this You Deserve More, but this is deserving because I've expanded on it. And what this is about is that you are really worthy, you're admirable, you're someone who's very dignified in their approach, and wherever you are at this point in time in your life, you deserve what you have. You've worked hard to get to where you are. You've built some really solid and great connections. You've had to let a few people go, and you probably will let more people go as you ascend and keep growing and evolving. Okay, so this here talks about, you're worth it. You're worth every dollar, every thought, every bit of good luck that has found you so far on your journey and on your path in life. It's all part of the divine plan, and you still deserve more. You're not at the end of it. So it's saying here, very nice card, you deserve more and you deserve everything that you have right now at this time. So that could go, I don't want to touch on the bad side because that's karmic related. We're not talking about that today. We're just talking about the abundance and all the good things that you've managed to manifest and achieve in your lifetime so far. And it's not the end of your story yet, not even close. Like you haven't even touched the sides. That's how exciting that card is. Okay, I've got here for the last one here. There are third-party influences around you that I want you to be mindful of as you continue to ascend, as you continue to follow that spiritual path and journey that you're on. I also want to say about that the spiritual path is a magnetic spiritual path. It has to be, because sometimes you really do not know where you are going. So that spiritual path just has a way of pulling you back in and pushing you back on there. And you kind of might think, oh, how did I end up here again? But in a positive way, right? So how did I end up here? It's good that I'm back here. This is where I need to be. And it was meant to be that way, because sometimes we've got to let go and just go with the flow, which is really hard if you like to control the situation and control the outcome. I get like that sometimes. That's us being in our masculine energy. Being in the feminine energy is when we just go with the flow, don't resist, be open to receiving and the abundance, be open to being able to adapt and pivot and change, so that we can receive. And every now and then when our masculine energy is called upon, then we go into that. But we don't need to be in our masculine energy all the time, okay? So it's about getting that balance right. Right, now going back to the third party card, I've seen here that some of you have got some outside involvement from different parties. It could be family members, it could be friends, it could be a spouse, a wife, a girlfriend, a husband, you get the message, right? So there is someone that's sort of in your circle that hasn't got the... They may think that, this is the thing, they may think that they've got your best interests at heart. At the end of the day, the only one that knows and who will have your best interests at heart is you. Okay, so if you're feeling challenged or feeling like, oh, maybe I should just listen to them, maybe I should just, I know I said go with the flow before, but something in here will tell you, like it's like our bodies and our body parts feel something is off before it gets to our mind and before even the words come out of our mouth. So if you're feeling that way and something feels off, that's because it is. So just be mindful about this here. I'm not going to go too much deeper into it than that, because we don't need to. Okay, it's just a word of caution is that one. Third party and outside influences and involvement. I'm just going to do, since we've got time, I'm going to do one more card. What does the collective need to know, please, in terms of the healing? And this is from the Mana Healing deck. We need to know, please. One more. Okay, words. All right, so for some of you, a lot of what you're involved with in this new journey and where you're heading in your life, it's very much to do with words and language and you putting yourself out there. Okay, so think of this as if you're doing some sort of reading or research, do you buy into it? Do you subscribe or do you unsubscribe? Okay, so that's you doing that body of work. Now think of your words when you deliver them to your audience. Do you want them to subscribe to you for what you're saying? Do you want them to follow you? Do you want them to be hitting you up on DMs and, to really chase you? Or would you prefer for them to unsubscribe, depending on the relationship or some of the comments that they're sort of throwing your way? So your words play a huge part in what it is that you're wanting to achieve. So the ask and the call out here is, it starts with a thought before it becomes a word, okay? And your words shape your connections and influence outcomes. So just a call out here to be very mindful about the intentions behind your words. How do you want to convey your message? Is it with love, compassion, and hope behind it? And that's words. Right, well, that's it. I might do a tarot reading next, so you're welcome to join me there. And if not, have a very Merry Christmas. Love you all, and thank you for your support.